Saints Kellen Moore non-committal on timeline for naming quarterback one. This is Pro Football Talk. Chris Sims, Mike Florio. Look at the buttons on Chris Sims' shirt. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to what the guys say. Yeah, Kellen Moore mentioned that there's not a set time. He's not going to say, all right, Thursday, no doubt about it, we're naming a starter. I would assume he's going to name a starter before the third preseason game. I think it just lines up where you use that third preseason game as like a dress rehearsal. Get all the starters out there, and you play the game, and they're out there for a couple possessions. And then you give them an extra week because there's like a bye week after the preseason now, and everyone knows, everyone's on the same page. It's not up in the air. There's no confusion. Waiting until after that game, I just think at that point you're putting the quarterback battle before the team, and we'll see, but I expect him to name a starter before the game against the Broncos.
New Orleans Saints, they played the Jaguars yesterday afternoon with Tyler Shuck getting the start, Spencer Rattler the second man in. Kellen Moore, head coach of the team, said on whether or not he'll name a starting quarterback this week, we'll see. Isn't that like the response you get from your parents that just you know they're leaning against whatever you want, and they're just trying to buy time.
Yeah, right.
They just
we'll
want
see.
you to leave them alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's also like, what's he going to say? Is he going to say yes? Like, yes, we are absolutely naming a starter in the next 72 hours. We're absolutely naming a starter before Saturday's game. Because then every single question he's going to be asked all week is, are you, when? Are you ready? So I'm not putting a ton into, if he would have said no, we're not going to do any of that until after the preseason, that would have been a big deal. But him not saying that kind of tells me everything.
We'll see. Yeah.
Dad, can you take me to the store to get some candy later on? Yeah, we'll see. I'll see how the day goes. Right, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's too late. Sorry, we can't go now. Sorry. But it certainly feels like it's Tyler Shuck. I will be shocked if it's not Tyler Shuck. I've watched both games in totality with the Saints. The way the game's called, the way the commentators talk, it certainly seems like it's going to be Tyler Shuck. Spencer Rattler, even the...
I mean, that's a that's a pretty hardline stance from Chris Sims. I mean, I certainly don't see that. I mean, I certainly don't see it being, Tyler Shuck. I don't think. I mean, I would not be surprised, I guess, if it was. I mean, I guess on a certain level I would, but it's definitely not how Chris is making it sound. Where Shuck's better, Shuck's played better. The announcers, everyone, it just sounds like it's going to be Shuck. I think if you look at all of that, if you look at kind of reading between the lines or whatever, then it leans to Rattler. Shuck would be kind of if Shuck is the QB1, then I think it was pretty predetermined. Like, hey, as long as he doesn't fall flat on his face, we're starting him kind of thing. But if this is a true 50-50 competition and they're trying to protect Tyler Shuck and they're trying to do everything they can for his development, I think it's got to be Rattler. So I just tried to find it. I couldn't find an updated odds. The last odds that were up was August 15th, so it was before the last preseason game, and Rattler was like minus 240 to be the starter. That's what surprises me with some of this is when, if I had to guess right now, Rattler's probably like minus 500. He's got to be a super heavy favorite if he was already a heavy favorite and then last game went in his favor. What surprises me sometimes is when analysts are so strong. Like Chris Sims is basically saying it's going to be Shuck. Okay, well, you might want to go to Bet365 or whoever has this bet up and put whatever on Tyler Shuck. Because if he's a 6-1 underdog or a 10-1 underdog, and you're that strong on it, rock and roll. And a lot of the times, Vegas doesn't always get it right, but I think sometimes when you are saying it's no doubt it's going to be Shuck, and he's a 6-1 underdog, you have to kind of take a step back and say, okay, what am I missing? What am I not seeing? What am I not factoring in that is being factored in somewhere else?
Fact, hey, he played yesterday and did some good things, but the fact that he played the whole game and late into the football game too, I don't think that's what you do with a guy you're about to name the starting quarterback, right? So all signals show me that it will be Tyler Shough will be the starting quarterback in the New Orleans Saints.
And it's the highest they've made an investment in a draft pick for a quarterback in the common draft since Archie Manning. They did use a first-round supplemental pick on Dave Wilson. That did happen.
Wow.
But during the regular, that was 1981. What year were you born? You were born in 1980.
Yeah.
So during the regular draft, the only time they've used a higher pick on a quarterback was Archie Manning. So they believe in Tyler Shough. They want to see what he has. They want to get him developed. And like the Browns, the Saints are a team that may be in position after this year to go out and invest a high pick in a quarterback, and they need to see what the guys they currently have on the roster will be able to do before they make that decision. All right. Hi, it's Mike Florio.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to. I mean, Chris said he's watched both games in totality, so he watched everything. He played in the NFL. I don't know. I would be surprised, or I guess I'll put it like this: I'm surprised that no one in the local media that cover the Saints are as strong on Tyler Shough being named the starter as Chris Sims is. And to me, that kind of shows that Sims is missing something here. Because if anything, you would think me or New Orleans Love Football or someone else like Ross or whoever, they would be like, no, it's going to be Tyler Shough. We're hearing through the grapevine. We're hearing this. We're doing that. You know, we're at practice. We're talking to the coaches. We're doing sit-down interviews with these guys. It's going to be Tyler Shough. But the fact that they're even like, I don't know, I'm kind of, maybe it's Rattler. And then Chris Sims is like, nope, all signs point to Tyler Shough. I don't know. I don't think so. The news will, I would be surprised the most in this following order. I'd be the most surprised if a quarterback was not named going into the third preseason game. If a quarterback is not outright named, then whoever starts that third preseason game, I would think is going to be the quarterback. Especially if we also see Eric McCoy, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, if all of them are playing. I mean, if Kellen Moore does not name a starting quarterback, like officially say he's our week one starter, but Spencer Rattler starts the game Saturday with Eric McCoy and all these guys, he's the starter. Same with Tyler Shough. If Kellen Moore doesn't say anything and all of a sudden the opening drive has Eric McCoy and Tyler Shough, that tells me all I need to know, right? Like, so even if he doesn't outright name it, depending on the roster and depending on how they treat that game, you're going to know who the starter is, I think. But it would be so, in that same example, it would be so unfair to the team if all the starters, all the vets, whatever, they get the start, Tyler Shough gets the start, and then Rattler's named the starter. It's like, well, what did we just do the walkthrough for? What did we just do all that? What did we just do that for? You know, like, why did we just waste the dress rehearsal or the last preseason game? Why did we just do it that way? So that's why I think we will know when that preseason game kicks, one way or the other. Beyond that, I would be surprised if they named Tyler Shough the starter. And my whole reasoning has nothing to do with the play on the field and the draft pick and the capital and all that stuff. My reasoning is way more to do with just what makes sense as far as roster building, a coach, making decisions, all that stuff. That's where mine lines up. Like, it just makes so much more sense to me to start Rattler, and it seems so much safer. It seems like that's the safe thing to do in the situation, which is kind of crazy. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I've been I could be wrong. I never am, but we'll see. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Kellen names a starter? Do you think they wait until after the preseason game? Do you think whoever starts the third game is the starter? Do you think it's one of those things where it's said but unsaid? How do you see this shaking out? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.